Today we're going to be checking out the AR Pre-Runner Grill Guard in matte black for the 2007 to 21 Tundras. If you want some serious front end protection, a more aggressive off-road look, and a solid base for some auxiliary lighting, then this grill guard is a big step up from a bare bumper or just a small bull bar, so it's definitely worth checking out. This AR Pre-Runner guard is going to wrap around the front of the truck with a full width tubular design to shield the grill and bumper and those front corners from impacts and debris. It's built with a pre-runner style center section and some side wings, and because it's designed specifically for the 2007 to 2021 Tundra, the guard is going to follow the contours of that front end very perfectly, and the mounting lines are going to mount perfectly to the factory locations to simplify that install process. And if you stick with me, we're going to show you that install just here in a minute. When it comes to the construction on this, you are getting a 1.5-inch tubular A36 steel build with a matte black powder coat finish. The heavy duty steel tubing gives the grill guard strength and rigidity, while the powder coat is going to help protect against rust and corrosion for years to come. Overall, this is a sturdy steel structure meant to live on a Tundra that actually sees the dirt and hard work days. Now, as far as the pricing goes on this, it is going to come in right in the low $800 price range. Now, that's a fair value for a full-size, vehicle-specific grill guard built from heavy-duty steel tubing that adds some real protection to the front end while giving you that clean yet aggressive style. When it comes to the install on this one, it's going to get rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. And you can have this job done in just 1 hour of your time if everything goes smooth. Now let's see exactly how this install goes with a quick video from one of our ExtremeTerrain customers.
All right, so tools that we used, I used a little bit of this PB nut blaster just to help get the nuts off of the bumper bolts that were the bolts that came on the vehicle. We used the 2 hex wrenches or Allen wrenches that came in the kit itself. I used an impact wrench and then a 3/8 torque wrench, or you can use any ratchet. I used a 12-inch extension, and this is a pass-through. So you can see I used that to get some of the bumper bolts off of there that we showed in the other videos that were hard to get to. And then we had a 18mm socket and a 14mm socket. If you can't find your 14, you can substitute that with a 9/16. And then we used a utility knife to just cut that plastic in the grill to fit the brackets through. All right, so this is the Armordillo Pre-Runner front bumper guard for the Toyota Tundra. This is the 2013 version. All right, so first step, we're just gonna bolt these wings onto the center bar right here using a couple of these 10mm button head bolts. Tighten them yet. So when they send this, they do send these Allen wrenches or hex head wrenches. So we just take those, you just hand start it, and then you can tighten them. I'm too impatient for that. It does say not to tighten them quite all the way up yet, so we're just gonna snug them up. And then with those snug, we'll move on to the next step. So in the instructions, these button bolts, it says to only use a flat washer, but inside of the baggie, there's also lock washers, and there's 8 of them. It only makes sense that they go on to these bolts. So it doesn't say to put them on in the instructions, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be in there. So we're gonna put them in. So after you've got your right and your left side bars on, then you're gonna mount your top bar. So we're just gonna use the 8mm button head bolts with a lock washer and a flat washer. And we're going to put one screw on the front, or one bolt right there on the front, and then there's one on the back side. And there is another hex wrench to be able to tighten those up. That's a little bit smaller. So that's how we build it. So there it is. So now we're just going to have to tighten them all up. So with the top bar loosely put on, the sidebars we didn't tighten fully yet, so we're going to go ahead and use the hex wrench here, and we're going to tighten those suckers up all the way. So, and because they do have a lock washer on them, make sure you tighten them until that lock washer is flat. And we're just going to do that to all 4 of the bolts holding the sidebars on, and then we'll do it to the 4 bolts holding the top bar. All right, just so you can kind of see how this thing orients, this is my passenger side, front wheel. Mine's a 2013, so we're gonna go up from the bottom. And what you're looking for is those 3 bolts that bolt the bumper on. Okay, and with those 3 bolts, you're gonna take your bracket and you're gonna have it like this. Basically, the upper bolt's gonna go through there, lower bolt's gonna go through there. I'll kind of feed it through there and show you, but basically this is gonna go across, this top bar is gonna go across the top of your bumper. So we just have to feed that in there, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So here we are, I've kind of situated that bracket. So now you can see that's how the bracket's gonna situate on there, right like that. So I'm going to remove that top nut and that middle nut, and then I'll put that bracket in there, and then I'll tighten those nuts back down onto the mounting bracket. And then we'll work the bracket that extends through the front air guard. We're gonna put that bracket through there, and we'll attach it to this mounting bracket with 2 bolts. So to make it a little easier to get up to these bumper mounting bolts that you have to mount that top bracket to, we're gonna have to remove this tow hook anyway to put the lower brackets on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that tow hook off. It's just a 18mm hex socket and a pretty heavy duty. I'm just using my my torque wrench to do it, but you could use a breaker bar or a ratchet. But anyway, just break those loose, and then we're gonna take both of these bolts out, make it a little easier to work up there. There we go. So these two bolts up here, these nuts are really tight. They're like a press fit. We put a little PB blaster on there, and then I needed to use, you have to have a perfect depth socket to get in there. So I used a medium depth. It can't be short because these bolts stick out too far. So it can't be too shallow, and it can't be too long because your ratchet will hit the bumper. So you've got to use just the right length socket. It needs to be a 14mm or a 9/16. And you can get it on there with a breaker bar and get leverage and pop that thing loose, and then just get another speed wrench or something up in there and take it off the rest of the way. We have our top brackets on. We mount the whole bumper to that top bracket with a bolt here through this hole. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount that bottom bracket, and we're just gonna let it hang and swing like that. If you come around to this other side, you'll kind of see. Just let it hang down like that while you get your bolts in there and everything. And then we'll take this lower part, and it'll mount right up to where your tow hooks were, using the same bolts that the tow hooks came out of. Okay, so now this bracket's just gonna mount right where that tow hook came out. Right there. All right. Now we'll just take our, what is it, 18mm socket, tighten that up a little bit. Then we'll go through and tighten everything down once we get it adjusted. We still have to tighten these 2 bolts to make sure everything's good, but we're gonna check the fit on the bumper to make sure it's not touching, adjust those, and then start tightening everything up. But it's basically on there. We're gonna tighten this bolt right here, again with that 18mm. Tighten these bottom ones right here. There's 2 bolts here. Makes it really easy if you got a couple of extensions. You don't have to get your hand down inside there. Good. And then the other side, same thing. That's good. And then I'm going to tighten the lower ones with my torque wrench.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap up our review and install of the AR pre-runner grill guard in matte black for the 2007 to 21 Tundras. And for all things Tundra, keep it right here at Extreme Terrain.